At the beginning of 2021, Tesla Model 3 lost its leadership among the best-selling electric vehicles in the world. In this ranking, it had to give way to the small Chinese hatchback Wuling Guang Mini EV, which in just a few months managed to gather a whole army of loyal fans in its homeland. Now, how did that happen? We will tell you in this review. Sales began in July 2020, and within the first 20 days, the Mini EV manufacturer received 15,000 orders. For 6 months, this number increased eightfold and amounted to 120,000 cars. And according to the results, during the first 2 months of 2021, the Chinese baby became the best-selling electric car in the world, leaving behind the permanent leader Tesla Model 3. Such impressive sales dynamics were made possible by the unprecedentedly low price of this electric car, just over $4,200 in the basic version and about $5,500 in the improved configuration. For comparison, the price of the Tesla Model 3 in the domestic car market in China is about $42,000, which is 10 times more expensive than the Mini EV. But did the price only provoke explosive interest in the Mini EV in the Middle Kingdom? In fact, there are several reasons. First, because the Chinese had the opportunity to buy either expensive models of electric cars or super cheap electro capsules. At a price of about $1,000 to $1,500, they did not need a driver's license. The budget niche of electric cars was not represented by anything worthy, and the Mini EV was finally offered. Not surprisingly, middle-income Chinese and young people started buying this car in masses. Secondly, for more than 10 years in China, there has been an active campaign to popularize electric vehicles. Since 2010, the government has provided subsidies to buyers of green vehicles. Although the program has gradually phased out over the years, the Chinese have already accepted that electric cars are not exotic, but convenient as well as economical. Thus, in the country, there are state benefits for the purchase of electric vehicles on credit. Discounts are being actively introduced for the payment of parking lots and road tolls. The Mini EV falls under all of these programs. Thirdly, residents of Chinese megalopolises have long shown a demand for a cheap electric car, which gives an opportunity to comfortably move through city traffic jams and park in a minimal area. The Mini EV was finally able to satisfy the needs of the motorists who do not care about high speed and special comfort, but need maneuverability, compactness, and a sense of their own space in the city traffic of people and cars. And yet, how exactly did the Mini EV maker manage to get into the heart of Chinese motorists so deftly? The angular, if not clumsy appearance of this kid, reminiscent of Japanese K cars with a characteristic cubic design, played. With a length of 2.9 meters and a width of 1.5 meters, the Mini EV really looks like a cube from a children's construction set, to which miniature wheels are attached. The technical equipment is quite consistent with this appearance. The 13-kilowatt electric motor produces only 17.4 horsepower and provides a maximum speed of up to 100 kilometers per hour. Very modest, but in busy Chinese metropolises, it is not often possible to accelerate even to 50. Despite its apparent simplicity, the Mini EV can hardly be called a primitive minicar. The manufacturer did not equip the electric car with steering wheel adjustment, a glove compartment, or rear seats with head restraints. The trunk of a car is more like a mini safe. Nevertheless, the car is equipped with such useful options as ABS, wheel pressure sensors, rear parking sensor, power windows, a stereo system, and even air conditioning, albeit very weak. The most technological element of the Mini EV is the intelligent control system and preheating of the battery at low temperatures. The manufacturer made sure that the battery status can be monitored in a special mobile application from a smartphone. It is important to note that the battery itself is very low power. The charge is designed for a distance of up to 120 kilometers in the basic version and up to 170 kilometers in the top-end configuration. However, in the mode of urban operation, it is no longer necessary, especially when you consider that the electric car can be charged from an outlet in your own garage or at one of the charging stations that are ubiquitous in Chinese cities. It is interesting to know that it took only 12 months from the development of the concept to mass production of the Mini EV. The success of this bestseller in such a short time is due to the efficient operation of the joint venture SAIC Motor, Liuzhou Wuling Motors, and General Motors. The global auto giant's involvement has allowed Chinese manufacturers to keep pace with world leaders like Tesla in electrification and has helped accelerate vehicle production with proven technology. This partly allowed the price to be drastically reduced. In fact, the Mini EV used the same developments that General Motors has long and successfully applied in its main lineup. If you add to this the cheap labor, the simplest finishing materials, the lack of complex electronic filling, and the Chinese government subsidies to the manufacturers of electric vehicles, then the incredibly low cost of the Mini EV becomes quite natural. Despite booming sales in China, the Mini EV is unlikely to be seen on American and European roads. Limited top speed, low power, and an unusual Japanese K style will become the main obstacle of this car for resale in Europe and America. In China, where thousands of queues lined up behind this mini car from the first day, the Mini EV will certainly continue to break records. China already accounts for 50% of all electric vehicle sales globally, and by 2035, the government expects electric and hybrid vehicles to account for half of its new vehicle fleet. All in all, it looks like the Mini EV in China has a great future. Would you dare to buy such an electric car for city trips? How would you rate its angular appearance?